Welcome to the podcast From Stress to Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Lolita Guarin. And today's episode 186. And I am continuing the conversation about what stressors can you encounter on the way to success. Yeah, there are a lot of them. And naturally, if you want to have a different results in your life, you need to start doing something new. Maybe you were not doing it before. Maybe you were doing it and then you stopped doing it. So today I want to specifically address what can be stressful on the way to success is comparing yourself to other people. Yes, that could be very stressful. I think it's very important for you to know where you're going to go and what's the result you want to achieve. And it's very important to see what's possible. I know I said nothing new here. Of course. And many times we get the ideas of actually looking at other people. Naturally, we'll be comparing ourselves to the people because we're like, oh my gosh, I want to be this person, not this person, but like I want to achieve the same success. And you're like, okay, I guess I need to do this and this, and what do I have, and what they have, and how is this possible? It can get very stressful when you start comparing yourself to others, even in the vacations, even especially with social media these days. You can look and it's like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful and amazing. Everybody's having the time of their lives, and here I am. I'm not doing all the traveling, all the fun, all the shopping, all the eating, all the whatever pleasures of the world. But somebody said that social media, it's kind of like looking at the brochure of an all-inclusive resort. Usually those pictures are done when the place was just open. Flowers are beautiful, all locations brand new, everything is shiny and beautiful. But then you get there and you're like, oh my gosh, this is not as a brochure at all. This is like an old bed and nothing shiny anymore. That's how it is with social media when you're looking at somebody and you're comparing your life to theirs. It looks all nice and pretty on that picture, but probably if you will know how that is in true, probably will not be that pretty. That's how I also know that I have some friends that they're like traveling all around the world, doing all those amazing things. Like usually, like summertime is like, oh, just going across Europe. And then when they come back and they tell me what the pain it was with the going with your in-laws and with your brother and the sister and the cousins and the, then they're like, oh, I'm so happy it's over now. So that's what happens. So stop comparing yourself to other people for thinking for how far you are in life. It's a very good idea to get an idea from very good idea to get an idea about where you want to go. It's kind of like, well, look at it as a catalog. Like, hey, you know what? I really would like this. Looks great. Or no, I don't like this. I don't like that color boat. This motorcycle looks great, and this dress looks nice, maybe in a different shape. But comparing yourself also to other people and other people's successes, especially like there's so many gurus that are like, hey, I made $1 million in 24 hours and follow me and I'll tell you how to do this. um, you have no idea how people got there. You have no idea how hard it was. So it's good to know that you can get there, but it doesn't mean you have to go the same route. The one person that is very important for you to compare yourself to, and that's probably the only person, it's you. Compare yourself to yourself. So just a little exercise for you now. I'm inviting you now to think about what you were doing 5 years ago. What kind of person were you? Where were you going? What you were thinking? How did you look? What are your relationships? How your financial situation? Your business that maybe you wanted to do. And now compare yourself. How does that look like? Now, if you're very happy with that comparison, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so great. I'm so happy. Oh, this is great. Enjoy it and celebrate it and validate yourself for all of the success. But if you're like, oh my gosh, this is not exactly where I want it to be, great. This means you still have time to make sure that you're going to take the right action so you don't end up in the next 5 years being in the same place that you don't want to be. That's the only place, that's the only person, which you need to compare yourself to. Because then you know you have exactly the same experiences, you have exactly the same patterns that you grew up, the same talking about that. So if let's say somebody grew up in an environment they were being given enough validation and attention, and they were appreciative of who they are, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're just amazing, this human being, happy to be around. And then you may even feel like you don't need other people, and I mean, like, follow them and do as they do and have what they have in order to be accepted in the group, because we humans, we need to be in the group, because without other people we will die. So this is of course all in your brain. And but if you come from the environment that you already know that the way you are is enough, and you are good the way you are, and you can make it, and you can achieve things that you want to, and you can have things that you want to, you may not even look at other people and say, oh, I want to have the same boat as so and so has it, because you're just happy the way you are, and maybe you have something else that you're enjoying it or not having it at all, and that's what you enjoy. So it really depends on what kind of patterns that you grew up in. Yes, because those are like prerequisites, and especially if you had this little silent wars with your siblings, and you were constantly compared to somebody else, or even compared to neighbors or friends or people on TV or cousins, whatever, then the comparison is already kind of like in your blood of thinking, I constantly need to compare myself to other people. And if I'm not above them, that's mean I'm less. And if I'm less, that's mean I'll be expelled from the group, and hence I'll die. I know it just kind of sounded very harsh, but that's how we think, because when we're children, we know we need to have other people to take care of us, and if we don't be taken care of, we cannot survive ourselves. So ask yourself, what are your patterns like? What did you bring from your childhood experiences? Wasn't it your family competition was a good thing, or were you just allowed to be yourself? Were you celebrated for who you are? Were you happy for your achievements, and the family was celebrating your achievements? Or they were telling you like, no, no, you need to go and do like somebody else? That's important. And that's why looking at other people and comparing yourself to others can be very, very stressful, because it's really like targeting your own survival. That's why it's stressful. So if you can agree with me, or I was about to, if you can identify some patterns in your life with your childhood, uh, today's video is just a little bit tough on me. If you identify yourself with someone who constantly need to compare yourself to others, but then you notice that you do that, but then you got control of that. I would love to hear what you have to say about that in the comments below. So please leave me a comment. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. And it helps me with the reaching out more people if I have more subscribers, especially if you think that my content is good and it's useful. Um, so thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being here and listening in. And I hope you will come back, and please listen to other episodes. And again, we'll be having a lot of fun starting probably next week, because I will be introducing other people to you. And I hope you will find very useful those exercises, interviews, those interviews very useful, because I'll bringing a lot of very successful and very mature people that could talk a lot about stress and life and improving other lives as well. I think I'm already talking way too much here in this episode.